Carol Kahn, and we're coming to you live from the Sedona Rouge Hotel and Spa, who's one of our sponsors, along with Digitech and Black Magic Design. So I just wanted to thank them as our sponsors. And we are actually celebrating our silver anniversary, the 25th anniversary. So this is a big year for us, and I'm going to introduce you to Jim. Welcome. He's a filmmaker here for Passive Aggressive Dads is your film.
That's right.
And it's a short.
It is a short. It's a 5-minute short about two dads who are just trying to have a nice day with their daughters at the park when some obnoxious teens drive by too fast and too loud, and it spurs these aging, disgruntled dads into a huge act of passive aggression.
And you were you were one of the dads in the film, correct?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah. So the film it was hilarious. I loved it. You did such a great job with it, and I do believe we have a trailer for it. So we'd like to take a look at that.
Underdog.
Kids. Hey girls, can you stay right here for a few minutes? We're gonna be right over there, okay?
Okay.
And honey, just one little favor.
It's awesome. There's more to come, but it's actually, I don't want to spoil the ending. The ending was priceless.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you did say that you were having a great day, but in looking at the film, you didn't look like you were having so much fun there.
Well, they were just trying to have a nice day. And it's one of those things where, I mean, I don't know if you have kids, but if anyone's ever spent time with kids, the first 15 minutes of that day is fantastic. And after that, it's like, okay, we got to move this along because, 45 minutes being pushed on a swing, even on a beautiful area as Maine, when you're just in the most, incredible setting, it's boring.
So are you a dad?
Yes, I am.
Two? How many children?
I have two daughters who are now 13 and almost 16. Mm-hmm. And when they were little, I would push them on that swing, and knucklehead kids would drive by just like that, 15 feet away from where all the kids are playing. And I didn't want to be that guy to go up and just say, guys, you really have to slow down. I didn't want to be, because I'm, sensitive, and I hated guys like that, right? And so I would have this fantasy of how I would teach them a lesson to do it, to cool it.
Right.
And so this is a 10-year fantasy just going over in my head over and over again that I get to watch in real life.
You do. And then can you let it go, or is it something that just keeps you going?
I was thinking of letting it go, but every time it plays, people come up to me afterwards or during and say, I would love to see a series of this. So, maybe it has something.
It does, because it's two of you trying to make it through raising children.
Right, exactly. And we want to be good dads, and we want to be there and doing all the things, but and we want to keep them safe.
Right.
While at the same time there are these, teens just frequently enjoying their youth while we're stuck pushing them on the swings.
I know, but you said you didn't want to be like like one of those older dads to do that, but were you actually like one of those kids in high school?
I wasn't. I was actually really aware. I was aware. But what's funny is one of those kids that were just roughhousing that we showed. He was a production assistant on the set, and we needed him just to be one of the kids. Mm-hmm. And as I was explaining on the set where I came up with this idea, he's like, "What year was that?" And it turns out he was that kid driving by too fast and too loud. And he's like, I'm really sorry about that. It's like, I was a complete idiot.
Retribution.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So is this your first film?
It is my second film. Mm-hmm. The first film I made was called This Time It's Shopping. And it's about, it appears to be two adults having a very bizarre, but understandable yet bizarre conversation in a gift store. And then it's another surprise twist as to why we're watching any of this. And it actually did really well in a bunch of children's film festivals. It got into 17 festivals. It won 5 of them. And it got the attention of Sesame Street. And they let me pitch them. And I made a 1-minute, 20-second short about the number 6, which came out last spring. So that was very exciting. Yeah.
And that was your first time, right? Your first film?
That was my first film. And it cost $100 for lunches and snacks and like everybody's DSLR and mics that everybody just happened to have on hand. And yeah, we shot it in a day.
How difficult is it to do a short? I've asked this question before, but in feature length and something like this, to get your message across pretty quickly, how difficult is it to do something?
I
like a
come
short?
from writing personally, so I think it's all in the story. And of course, if you shoot it terrible or it sounds terrible, it's terrible. But if you can get the story where every single thing that happens in the short means more than one thing, you're learning something about what's going to happen, you learn more about their character, or you're informed about something, and then it all pays off at the end, one way or another, then it's just that much more satisfying, I think.
Mm-hmm. And we're all in a position, not all of us, but a lot of people that are in the creative mindset, taking a look at something like this, it's one idea, one subject, and then you're able to capture it in a short amount of time.
Right.
So is that easy for you, difficult? How, what happens to your creative mind in putting this all together?
Well, I started off writing feature-length screenplays, and the more I learned about it and talked to other screenwriters, I came to find, I'm going to answer your question, but I came to find out that getting someone to read your 110-page screenplay is near impossible, but it's a lot easier to get them to watch your 4-minute really funny short. So I started really just thinking about, all right, what have I learned about how characters progress in arc and learn or don't in a screenplay, and how can I compress that to just 5 minutes and map it out the exact same way? Mm-hmm. So I think when you come at it like that, and you can only do so much in 5 minutes, so it's just one joke or one gag or whatever. But and if you think about it, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, a movie is really just 30 to 40 short films about certain things over the course of a movie. They just happen to have all the same characters.
Mm-hmm. And the formula, you were just talking about the formula, it's the hero's arc that you follow pretty much. So
yeah, I like that. And
mm-hmm.
of course, switching it up when you have to. But I mean, I've experienced so many films that are artistic films that don't follow that, and at the end you might go, good for them, but it wasn't necessarily very good. You're just impressed that they pulled it off somehow. So yeah, if you don't follow that, I think of it more of as a format than a formula. But if you don't follow that format of a flawed character growing and learning and synthesizing what they've learned, then it's just not it doesn't hit us in the heart, at least here in Western society.
Mm-hmm. And how difficult is it? You've written it, and you've also starred in it. So how difficult is it? Because you know what you're looking for. You know the kind of character. So is that easy to do, or is the pressure on because you actually have to be all that and more?
Well, the pressure was especially on because I also directed it. And the original, my intent originally was to write and direct. And then I would talk to my producer, Kyle Lamont, who made this happen. I wasn't going to make it, and she said, we have to make this. And I was like, all right. And so we went back and forth about casting someone. Who do we cast? Do we find an improv person or an actor in the area? And the more I thought about it, I was like, I'm just going to direct them to do it the way I can picture it exactly in my head. So maybe I should just do it. And that's pretty much what I did.
Mm-hmm. And in looking at your own work, because I know a lot of times that we do look at our work and we're very critical of, afterwards of what we've done. Have you looked at your work to say, oh, I would have done it differently, or do you feel like...
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't go to film school or anything like that, so every single project has been, even this project, I was, if we had just this one extra shot to piece this together, even though it's been received really well. Yeah, little things like, it's not little, but what they call coverage, where, you have extra shots from over the other person's shoulder when there's a conversation. That's called coverage. And getting just random facial reactions and all that have nothing to do with what's going on can make or break, especially, well, I mean, anything, a short film or a feature. And then, so I can't explain it in 10 seconds, but we didn't have any of that in my short one. So there were some cuts that went from one thing to another that felt a little too hard for me, or things that had to go too long because we didn't have a way to piece what happened there to the next thing. So yeah, it's all been a wonderful learning experience.
Well, and when is your film being shown?
It's being shown tonight at 4:15 this afternoon.
And has it been shown already?
It has been, and both are sold out because it's been matched with 1111, which is a local film that half the town apparently was in. So everyone has shown up and wanted to see that.
Now you know how to fill
That's right.
fill a theater.
Come to Sedona, it's like everybody's in the movie. Come on in.
It's awesome. And how can people find out? I know we flashed it briefly on your website. How can people find out about your film?
Well, they can go to passiveaggressivedads.com or, look at
There
that.
it is.
Or they can look for Passive Aggressive Dads on Facebook, and we have a Facebook site. Right now, you can't see the whole thing. We can't, put it out there because it's in the festival circuit, and that breaks rules. But if people want to ask to see a secret screener, I can figure out how we can make that happen.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you for joining us. And remember, while you're around Sedona, you need to take lots of photos, and you need to hashtag Sedona Film Fest 25.
Done.
Everybody who's out there, who's doing anything with the film festival, around the film festival, please hashtag Sedona Film Fest 25. And we'll be back with more of the Sedona International Film Festival after this.